Peacemaker was played by John Cena in the movie Suicide Squad and in the solo show Peacemaker. The character, like the rest of the titular gang, is an anti-hero who has provided some of the funniest moments. The character had never been seen previously in a live-action setting. In terms of his comic book equivalent, he's a hilarious keeper of peace who will go to any violent length to keep the peace. Here are some interesting facts about him that you probably didn't know. Number 1. He assassinated the President of the United States of America. The Charlton comic characters interact with the Watchmen in Multiversity Pax Americana. The limited edition event included the same tale presented from the perspectives of many characters, with the readers deciding the conclusion. To cut a long story short, the Peacemaker assassinated President Harley. It was, however, Harley's strategy for overcoming death. The plot went bad because Captain Atom was involved in the most critical portion of it. To save Harley's life, Atom was required. However, a super collider engine had created a little black hole that had carried him through space and time into an entirely other dimension, and he had been removed from Earth 8. The narrative seems insane, yet it's one of the most important milestones in graphic novel storytelling. Number 2. Peacemaker is not a DC original. Even though Peacemaker is now a fixture in DC Comics, he first appeared in Fighting Number 5 under the Charlton Comics banner as part of an espionage squad. After the publication firm went out of business in the mid-1980s, DC bought the character and featured him in a 4-issue miniseries in 1988. This isn't surprising, given DC has bought characters from other comic book publishers in the past. Plastic Man, Captain Atom, Blue Beetle, and the Spirit are examples of such characters. Number 3. He is a diplomat. Christopher Smith is a diplomat who thinks that peace is not only possible, but also essential. He is so determined to be the herald of peace that he would go to any length to protect and preserve it. Christopher Smith enforces his vision of peace with a variety of non-lethal weaponry. Crime lords, gang members, dictators, and tyrants comprise the majority of the enemies the Peacemaker battles. Smith's belief in extreme peace is subsequently shown to have stemmed from his father's guilt as a Nazi death camp commander during World War II. Number 4. He has relationship issues with his father. Christopher Smith's aggressive impulses to neutralize bad spirits are partly motivated by his loathing and shame for Wolfgang Schmidt, his father. His father, it has been learned, was a Nazi SS commandant at the Schlase concentration camp in Poland during World War II. Under the mantle of Peacemaker, he sometimes feels as though his father's presence stalks his mind and evaluates his acts. While the nature of these visions is unknown, it has been suggested that Smith may be suffering from mental illness. Number 5. He is mentally unstable. Have you ever wondered why the Peacemaker wears such a silly helmet? There is a specific purpose for this as well. Many men and women who were perceived as dangers to peace have been murdered by the Peacemaker. According to Smith, the helmet collects the souls and spirits of everyone he has ever slain. When he is vulnerable or in need of assistance, the spirits form a collective and provide him advice and guidance. As he progresses in his job, he becomes a wet works operator for the US government. The Peacemaker killed Eclipso by crashing a helicopter into their camp while on the search for terrorists. The chopper in issue was accompanied by many US soldiers. The crash killed them all, including the Peacemaker. The US Armed Forces dismissed him dishonorably after his death. Number 6. There are 3 Peacemakers. Christopher Smith was the earliest and most popular variation of Peacemaker, and he is also John Cena's alter ego. In Justice League International number 65, another Peacemaker was portrayed as a League Buster operative. Mitchell Black, a physician, has also played the character in television shows such as the LAW and Infinite Crisis. Then, in the Blue Beetle comics of the 2000s, a new Christopher Smith appears, even though he also takes on Black's persona for a while. Number 7. A genius strategist. While Peacemaker suffers from bipolar illness and severe schizophrenia, he is a tactical genius. He can devise plans and strategies in a matter of seconds. He's famed for using his sharp small brains to assess the entire battlefield and devise strategies for defeating a numerically superior trained force. He was also taught the art of warfare by some of the best experts in the US Armed Forces. He's a fantastic pilot and driver, as well. Number 8. He also exists in the Arrowverse. With the recent crossover storyline Crisis on Infinite Earths, Black Lightning became an official member of the Arrowverse. In the first season of Black Lightning, Christopher Smith is referenced in the episode Equinox: The Book of Fate. Pax Institute's CEO and founder, he was reported to be. This establishes beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Peacemaker exists in the Arrowverse's multiverse in some form.